It's time for the Wendy Williams Show. Today, the king of controversy, Jerry Springer, basketball wife Tammy Roman, and celeb insider Carrie Keegan join Wendy for Hot Talk. Plus, you won't believe what Wendy's getting ready to do with today's Hoda Kotb and all the latest juicy hot topics. Now, here's Wendy.
The weekend is here. I feel great. Okay, it looks like Britney Spears may already have a new job. We'll talk about that. And Katie Holmes is doing something with Seri that has a whole lot of critics and me talking. So I'll explain. Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. Thank you. Thank you. So I've been dying to get here to share this story with you. We've already talked about Britney Spears and her split from her fiance, Jason Treadway. Well, I've been predicting this for a long time, and it happened recently. Like the other weekend, it was announced. Well, now there's new details emerging about what led to the split with Britney and her fiance, Jason. The Star magazine is saying that, okay, Jason was more like a father than a boyfriend. He had to make sure that she ate properly. He even picked out her clothes and had to virtually run the water and push her into the shower to take a shower. Well, that leads me to tell you the obvious. They had no sex life for months. Smelling like old hot dog water. Really, Britney girl, really? The Star magazine even alleges that Jason cheated with two girls at the W Hotel. I mean, Radar Online is also reporting that even though Jason and Britney are over, she managed to get herself a job, and also he doesn't want her money, he just wants her freedom. We talked about this before. We talked about this on yesterday's show. We always talk about this, and I always tell you that it's just not worth the money to stay with somebody that you're suffering from. And, you know, sometimes you make a bigger statement by just walking away from the other person's money than staying and wanting it. I mean, Jason started with Britney as the conservator to her, you know, her situation, and then they tumbled into being boyfriend and girlfriend. And, you know, Britney just needs to sit down for a moment and get herself together and get well, and there's no reason that Jason should have to suffer along. So I'm not bitter at him for this breakup. It was needed, but they're also reporting that there's good news for Britney because TMZ says that remember I was telling you she might take a residency in Las Vegas and be there for a moment and collect a bunch of money. Well, apparently there are 3 Las Vegas hotels in a bidding war to land Britney to perform headline. I know. And are you ready for the rest? The word is that Britney could get more than $100 million for the job. I know. And there are also reports that she can make as much as $200 million. Isn't that fantastic? But that's not going to cure this. You know, she really does have to get it together. And then there were other reports that Britney is kind of in denial. Like, she hasn't gotten a grasp that she and Jason are over, you know? Where's Jason? I don't know what that means in terms of what she's actually doing, whether, she's dialing him constantly or driving past his new house or whatever she's doing. But Britney, congratulations on that Vegas thing. I think that's a good job for you because you'll be at least in one place for a while. And like I told you, you can enroll your boys into the Las Vegas schools and live there for a few years and collect all that money. But most importantly, That'll probably be a place where when you're not on stage, you can get the help that you need, whether it's that a psychiatrist or psychologist comes to visit you at your hotel room to help you cope with your new life, or you go out to that person. But you need help, girl, and everybody's talking and everybody's watching, so I wish you well. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I made it no secret that on X Factor, my favorite contestants were that girl group, Fifth Harmony. And even though they didn't win, they placed third on the show, but Simon Cowell still thinks they have what it takes, which I was talking to Simon through the TV saying, do something with these girls like you did with that group, One Direction. Because, you know, that's a Simon Cowell discovery as well. And I was saying, you know, and no disrespect to women, you know, solo singers, you know, without the group, but I miss the days of like En Vogue, the Cover Girls, you know, all those girls together. I mean, the Spice Girls weren't exactly my era, but you know, you get the idea. Like, I love a girl group. Just nobody, they didn't know each other. They were just put together. Everybody had a different look, and it's just different. So People Magazine is reporting that Simon has signed Fifth Harmony to his record label. So good, good. Speaking of signing an X Factor, any word on whether Khloe Kardashian is signed to come back to X Factor?
No.
Okay. Well, the streets are talking, so let's get an accurate report and do that on Monday. Just saying. Anyway, thank you, Simon, though, for signing those girls. All right. So, there's a superstar singer that wants to be an actress, and I don't know how you feel about this, or maybe you feel singers should stay in their lane, but it's Lady Gaga. I'm not mad. I'm not. There's a Los Angeles insider talking, saying that Gaga is constantly challenging herself and she needs a new challenge. And this challenge is that she wants to start acting, and then in 5 years she wants to win an Oscar. It's nice to set goals. No, here's the thing. Okay, she recently landed a role in an action film called Machete Kill, and listen to her co-stars: Charlie Sheen, Mel Gibson, and Sofia Vergara. So she says that she admires musicians that take the stretch and, you know, go into acting, like Justin Timberlake, who made the wonderful transition. And, you know, I used to be a hater on people who would, like when I was in radio and some of my radio, like I studied radio. I went to college, I studied radio. It wasn't something that I landed in. Like I did it, studied it, and I do it, and I did it. And when people, whether it be rappers, singers, or whoever, people from outside my radio career would land, you know, a shift on the air, it used to make me mad. I still had my job, but they were taking jobs from my radio brethren, other people who studied radio, and I used to be a hater on that. Thank goodness for evolution, because I no longer hate on that, you know? And with one caveat. Only real radio people should be inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. Do you know what I'm saying? All due respect. And if it weren't for people stretching, we'll take singers, you know, going into acting, then we wouldn't have people like Barbra Streisand the way we were, Diana Ross and Mahogany, Cher and The Mask, and let's not forget Jennifer Hudson and Dreamgirls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Which, by the way, I know she won the Oscar. She won the Oscar for that, but that wasn't as much for the acting as it was for the singing. Remember, she sang through Dreamgirls, so even though she was in a movie, she was really doing her craft still. My thought on Lady Gaga and this Oscar is, Oscars are meant for the Meryl Streeps and, you know, the Amanda Seyfrieds and the Bob De Niros. Where'd that come from? I'm so cool. I don't know that man. I mean, Robert De Niro's. That's my thought. Like, there's nothing wrong with transitioning in, but I'm not grown up enough to allow, like, you know, a singer to win an Oscar. That's for the real actors. Just saying. But good luck, Gaga. Gaga, we're gonna be talking about you, by the way, on the Hot Talk panel. I have to agree to disagree with something that you've done recently. We'll talk. Okay, so Katie Holmes has been spotted all over New York City after her split from Tom, and she's really adjusted to New York life. She looks like one of us, you know, the scrubbed face, she's got comfortable shoes, she's walking, there she is, there, that's New York. And cute, by the way. Do you think she's attractive? Yes. I think she's attractive. Oh. Camera focused on a hater, did you see her? They focused on you saying, She looks like a little girl, but that's a good thing.
She's a grown woman.
Yeah, she is a grown woman. And you know what? And so is Seri, almost a grown woman, but Katie will not put this girl down. Seri Cruz, here's what people and me have been criticizing. Seri Cruz is 6 years old and off in first grade, and look at this. Would you look at that? I can't tell whether I'm madder that she's carrying her. Go back to the first picture. Or look at the face, the first picture. Thank you. Look at the face on Seri. She needs a spanking or a tap tap or a beat down. I don't know what you call it in your house, but whatever it is, she needs it. Katie, it's time for you to stop carrying her. I mean, she's overwhelming you. And what are you scared of? Look at that. Oh my God, Katie. Katie, what are you scared of? Just hold her hand and let her walk on the inside. And don't hold her maybe by the hand. Maybe you want to put your arm around her if you're nervous that somebody's going to snatch her or something. But picking her up looks really awkward. And if it's that you don't want the paparazzi to always get her, why don't you just get her a pair of sunglasses? A lot of the cool celebrity kids, they wear sunglasses for the purpose of paparazzi not being around. I mean, you draw more attention to yourself by carrying that grown woman child than anything. Katie. By the way, you know, Katie's interested in dating, but she doesn't really know how to put herself out there, which makes her like a lot of women don't know how to put themselves out there. And there's nothing wrong with admitting it and seeking help. And that's exactly what Katie's done. She is seeking the advice, according to the London Sun, from a dating coach to boost her confidence around men. Well, if you think about it, she didn't really have to meet Tom. Like, remember, that was her teenage crush, the posters in the room and the whole bit. Do you remember how she told us? You know? And then, allegedly, according to everything I've always heard, their first date and everything was arranged, so she didn't have to go out and flirt. And then prior to that, when she was on that Dawson's Creek show, she dated one of her people from Dawson's Creek. But you don't really have to flirt and do anything when you're, you know, on a TV show set in one of the Carolinas. You know, she's socially awkward around men, so she's a dating coach. I think that's a good thing. Good for you. Yeah. And no matter what man you get, as soon as he sees you pick up that grown woman you call a daughter, he's gonna run, Katie. Good luck. Last time I picked up little Kevin, okay, he's 12 now, he was 3 years old. I will never forget the day. We were in the kitchen, and I wanted to pick him up to put him on the island on a counter. I didn't feel like getting down there to tie his shoes. That's what happens when you have your kids a little bit later in life. All of a sudden, you can't do all the stuff that you... Look. So I wanted to tie the boy's shoes, but you know, I picked him up, and I felt a crook. I put him back down. And I've never picked him up ever. I haven't picked Kevin up since he was 3 years old. He just weighed too much. I felt a crook in my back. Anyway, remember the other day we were talking about Kobe Bryant and his wife, Vanessa, of 12 years. They called off their divorce. They're staying together. And my opinion was that I was very, very happy for that because I just, you know, I root for marriage, and every marriage goes through and relationship goes through trials and tribulations. And it's worth it to work it out, especially if you have children. And I resent when people say it's cheaper to keep her. I resent that because that's implying that Kobe or the next rich person is only staying together so they don't have to split the money with their spouse. In my opinion, there is no amount of money for happiness. I don't believe this. Do you see me trying to convince myself? I really don't believe that, you know. But there is a new report saying that Kobe would have had to pay, if they went through with this divorce, a shocking amount per month. $1.36 million a month in spousal and child support. And people are saying because of that is why they've decided to stay together. Listen, they've been married for 10 years, and you know, they have a couple of kids. And reportedly, also, if they went through with this divorce, he might have had to pay that amount of money for the rest of his life. Well, I have to tell you something. If a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend is that much of a pain in the behind, I say clear the path for new love, pay the money, negotiate something, maybe get it down to $800,000 a month. I don't know. Me personally, I'm a person of a particular character thanks to how I was raised. And you might say, you know, we might do a lot of talking here on Hot Topics and on the show, and we do, but I do believe in supreme happiness. I believe their divorce is there for a reason. And I think that these two are still together for love. But I also believe in unicorns. We have a great show planned for you today. Today's show host anchor Hoda Kotb is here. And it's her first time on the couch, I know. It's her first time on the couch. And I really look forward to chatting with her. But up next, everybody, it's Jerry Springer, it's VH1's Carrie Keegan, and reality superstar Tammy Roman. They're gonna join me for another Hot Talk panel where we're gonna discuss some of the hottest topics of the week. Don't miss it. Socializing during the break. So look, it's the end of another week and it's time for another round of juicy hot talk. Joining me this week, Jerry Springer, the host of the Jerry Springer Show. And the host of VH1's Morning Buzz, Carrie Keegan, friend of the show. And from Basketball Wives and now the new show Bells on TV1, Tammy Roman. Excellent. Okay, let's get right into it. So, Lady Gaga is known for being eccentric, as we all know, with her costumes, but this time some people are saying she's gone a bit too far. Earlier this week, she was at a concert in Canada, and Gaga wore a bra adorned with assault rifles. Well, you know, in the wake of this Newtown massacre, in the wake of people trying to get control of guns, critics are saying that the costume has just crossed the line. What do you think? Carrie, we start with you.
I think she was a jerk for doing it. It's not like she doesn't know that she's going to get this kind of controversy when she does something like this. And I just think that it was in really, really, really poor taste. And she knows better.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's Gaga. I mean, this is the lady who wore the meat dress. I mean, you know, so we've come to expect the crazy, the sanity versus insanity from her.
But who did the meat dress hurt, though?
This doesn't hurt anybody.
The cows?
Yeah.
They are ticked off.
She might be known for being eccentric, but this was grossly irresponsible.
Well, she's an artist.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, she's an artist, and the function of an artist, those people is to make us uncomfortable and to make a statement. Now, anyone who knows her knows she's very...
What statement is she making? Because she hasn't actually come out and said a word about it.
I don't want her to. Let me just tell you this. She wore, this is not her first time sporting a gun on her bra. In 2010, the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, she has the guns. And you know what? You're right, Carrie. She hasn't made a statement. And I feel as though there's nothing that she can say that will clean this up. So it's best to me if she says nothing. It'll go away. We'll forget about it soon.
Yeah. But she has, in the past, she has spoken about being very anti-gun. She is for... So this is her statement of saying the absurdity of it all. So I think, and the fact is we're all talking about it now, that's what artists do.
Will you wear a big gun in your pants, Jim?
Pardon? No, I'm just happy to see you. We've all heard about this story. I don't know what you feel. I do have an opinion as a mother. A California middle school teacher was fired after his students and teachers saw pornographic movies starring this teacher online. The teacher did these porns. I think she quit like 2006, she said. She quit in 2006. She did it because she needed the money, and now she's a science teacher in a middle school. So my question to the panel is, what do we think? And I'm going to go first because we talked about this in our house last night. Our son is 12, my husband was there, and I said, look, I have no problem with it. Let me see what he says. Little Kevin didn't miss a beat. He said, I have no problem with it. My husband said, I have no problem with it. And little Kevin actually drew a comparison to me when I was on drugs. He said, Mommy, everybody has something that they clean up from. And I would have no problem with having a teacher who's a porn star, as long as, and then Big Kevin interjects, she's dressed appropriately. And I said, yes, the same thing. You almost have to do damage control by not dressing crazy in the classroom. And she's lost her job, she lost her appeal, and so that's it. Jerry?
Well, you know, until I view the video, I can't make it. I want to be responsible. No, I guess here's what I think. First of all, it doesn't matter what she did in her past. That's her business, etc. But here, the problem is not that she did it. It is possible that the problem is that the kids now know about it, because that could interfere. I don't know that it does, but it could interfere with her job as a teacher. When you're at that age, it's the giggle factor.
Yes.
So if you're up there trying to teach and all the boys are giggling,
but if she has command of her classroom, nobody's giggling.
Yeah.
And you know, when they mention it to you, yes, that was me, and what?
And what?
Now you better do your homework. Don't play with me. Tammy, you're a mom.
I mean, I've had my past. I've been known to slap a chick or two or three, and I wouldn't want that to, hinder me from being able to do my job as long as she's credentialed to do so. More importantly, why are 13 and 14-year-olds watching porno? I mean,
Because
that's what they do. What do you say?
Have you never been a 13-year-old boy?
Should she have lost her job?
No, I don't think so. But this is sort of the.
Why didn't the school system vet this out anyway? That's your fault, school system.
They need to figure out now. This is going to happen now that everybody is on social media constantly. Everybody's life is going to be aired out. So now they have to figure out. This is a good example of what do we do from now on?
And in the
how do
meantime,
we deal with this? Because she's not going to be the first porn star who has a teaching job.
And she won't be the last, exactly. And you want to know what? She did get a job offer. Unfortunately, is at the Bunny Ranch in in Las Vegas.
Well,
I know. All right.
I think they make a lot of money, though.
The people there have to learn science, too.
All
I
right.
think it's chemistry.
There is an article that was in last April's Vogue magazine, and I read it, and I found it extremely uncomfortable to read. Nevertheless, I did it. It was written by a woman named Daria Lynn Weiss, and it details her decision to put her 7-year-old daughter on a diet. People gave her backlash. She's being called selfish, self-absorbed. They've been told that her actions could lead her daughter to have an eating disorder. Before I ask the panel what they think, I just want to read you. Kelton Research Survey says that parents find the single most uncomfortable topic to discuss with their kids, not sex, not drugs, but weight.
I don't understand that
Carrie?
at all. Why is this something? Our entire country has this epidemic of overweight people, let alone kids, and everything. This child was 7 years old when she was put on this diet. She doesn't have control over what goes in her mouth when she's 7. That was her mom feeding her and putting her in this situation.
Yeah,
No, but that was the thing. Her mother wasn't feeding her. Her mother was withholding food because she felt that she was obese.
But that was when she was on the diet, but she got heavy because of someone else feeding her.
She's in the 95th percentile of kids her age. She's 4'4". She weighed 93 pounds. That's clinically obese according to the scales. She's in the 95th percentile of fatness for her age. So some people could say, well, her mother saved her from a lifetime of ridicule and maybe heart disease. I can tell you, my parents put me on my first diet, and I'll never forget. They rejected the Ritalin that the doctor wanted to give me, because Ritalin is about more than just hyperactivity. Right. I remember going to Dr. Ellison as young as 7 years old, and I remember being on a diet, and it was a big issue. I have issues with food, and that whole bit, and I just feel, forgive me, I don't think the mother was wrong for putting this girl on a diet. I think what she's wrong for is some things are only supposed to be house talk and house behavior. She shouldn't have written about it. It's not something that you ridicule your kids about when they're at the birthday party, put the cupcake down. And I also think that in this day and age, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you guys talk, but this speaks to me deeply. I think that back when I was growing up in the 70s, there was no diet food and everything was fattening and full fat butter. So it was a lot harder for parents to control what their kids ate. Nowadays, put the whole house on a very well thought out, low calorie, high protein diet or whatever. Tammy, what do you say?
Well, I come from a household where my mother just really chastised me about everything, which led to me, you know, getting my mouth wired and this smart lipo and going through all these different things and being bulimic. And I just think that more importantly, the mother should teach her daughter how to be active, how to get out there, exercise. It's not just about diet. It's not just about what you're, you know, inputting, but actually what you're exerting.
Yeah.
And I think that's more important, and she skipped that whole step.
Well, the mother also had issues with food.
And as a parent, you're raising the whole child, not just the weight of the child. So you have to be equally concerned with...
It was so profound. Go ahead.
But you have to be equally concerned about the emotional development of the child's self-esteem.
Right.
There was this wonderful study done a few years ago where they took 1,200 9-year-old boys and 1,200 9-year-old girls and asked them if they liked themselves. And it was about 85% of the boys and 85% of the girls liked themselves. They went back a few years later when the kids were 14 and asked those same 1,200 boys and girls whether they liked themselves. The boys, it stayed at 85% liked themselves. The girls dropped to 30%.
I want to read a
And
quote.
it was about their
The physical.
something
And
physical.
sometimes that kind of stuff starts at home. I know it started at my home. I love you, Mommy and Daddy, but you know the damage you've done to me. Here's a quote from the mother, and then, you know, just to give some insight. In my teenage years, I dabbled in the occasional laxative and once fainted at a summer program after 3 days of near fasting. In my 20s, I begged a doctor friend to score me the prescription appetite suppressant fen-phen, even after it was found to cause heart valve defects and pulmonary hypertension. I have not ingested any food or looked at a restaurant menu without silently launching into a complicated mental algorithm about how it will affect my weight. So the mom has an issue with food, and now she's raised the daughter
this was
with an
in
issue
vogue?
with food. Is it in vogue of all things? So that's indicative of. Anyway, look, we have to take a. I'm just disgusted, but even more disgusted about the following. Okay, up next, riddle me this. Is it okay to share the intimate details of your sex life with your friends? Because some of you all talk too much.
Hey,
Wait,
easy.
freeze. We'll be right back with the panel. Hurry. I just called your show Morning Buzz. It's Big Morning Buzz. The host, Carrie Keegan on VH1. Okay, welcome back. The bigger the better. Okay, so we're still here with our Hot Talk panel. According to a sex survey conducted by AdamandEve.com, nearly twice as many women talk about the intimate details of their sex life with their friends as men do. The question for our panel, Carrie, we'll start with you. Do you think it's okay to discuss your sex life with your friends?
Yes, because how else are you going to learn anything?
Absolutely
What
not.
just happened? Did we
What's
just
there
survive
to
the table?
learn?
Absolutely not.
No, I'm a guy.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, Jer, you should know better. You need to be on my side on this.
No,
Yeah.
he should not. Listen, Tammy, let me just give you a word to the wise. Do not share your bedroom business with your friends because women will want what you have.
And and I'm gonna tell you something. And that is not about being insecure like a lot of you are thinking.
Listen.
That is true and that is fact.
Wendy,
What?
as far as my friends know, listen, as far as my friends know, he is 2 inches long. He can only go 2 minutes, and he need Viagra to do that.
Jerry,
Whoa. I've never even been with you.
as the only guy here, I want you to give us some insight as to why it is that twice as many women talk about our sex lives with our women friends as men do. Why don't men talk? And I know why, but go ahead, you tell it.
Well, with me, it'd be a very short story. No, it's, well, first of all, women are much more verbal. And secondly,
cunning
I'm not
linguists, I
proud
believe
of,
is
I'm
what
not
you
proud
wanna
of
say.
this, but when first of all, guys don't talk about intimate things, period. You know, a man's conversation, when guys are together, it's, hey, how you doing? Hey, ooh, pass the beer, yeah,
No, I think
you get any last night?
Yeah.
Guys, it's not.
my thought on
But I'll
guys.
give you one other thing.
Okay.
One other thing. On a serious note, that's intimacy. And I'm not making jokes now. I don't think if you're intimate with someone, your wife, your significant other, whatever, that's not to be shared. That's why you have an intimate relationship.
You forgot the part
I don't
where...
care. It has nothing to do with sex.
Yeah.
The conversations that I have at home, conversations I have even with my own daughter,
Yeah.
that isn't shared with other people. They're special.
But what if it's not a conversation about bragging? What if it's not about size? What if it's just about techniques or things that you could actually...
Carrie.
Okay, so how good is your man in bed?
The reason why, in my opinion, the reason why men don't share is because men are the same backstabbers that women can be. Your man friend that you call your friend is the same one that'll try to get with your wife or your girlfriend after you talk about how great she is in bed.
I agree.
And I don't trust a woman as far as I can throw her. That whole share your sex life thing, keep that over there.
I'm 69 years old. Who the hell is going to want to get the... I mean, you know, what's the point?
You would be like
We're
the
not
count that I
worried.
always suggest that girls get with a wealthy older man. Thank you all for being here.
Are we done?
It was
How was I?
You were fabulous as usual, Jerry. Tammy, thank you so much. Carrie, thank you so much. And you, for more information about our panelists, go to wendyshow.com. Still ahead, today's show anchor, Hoda Kotb. But up next, it's time for Ask Wendy. Welcome back. Time for Ask Wendy. How you doing?
How you doing, Wendy?
I'm doing well. How can I help?
My name is Annie, and I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year, a little over a year. We've been living together for about 8 months, and he's invited his parents to come live with us for the summer, for 3 months. We haven't really discussed
They're coming
this.
over from India.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And we haven't discussed it, and I don't know how to talk to him about this without seeming like a mean girlfriend, about, I don't know, getting him to uninvite them or...
Well, he's already invited them,
He's
so now
already
he's
booked
going to
the
blame the
ticket.
uninvite,
Yes.
and he already bought the ticket.
He did.
What? I mean, do you live in a gigantic house where they can have their own entrance?
No. We live in a one-bedroom apartment. So I don't even know what's going to happen with our living situation. I know.
This is what you do.
What do I do?
Convince him to cut the stay in half from 3 months to, well, half of that, a month and a half. And then you're going to start to call around, because men are not good at doing the legwork. You're going to call around, and you're going to find an apartment near you for them to sublet, which will be cheaper than them staying in a hotel. And you sublet an apartment for that month and a half. How dare he do this, and you live in a one-bedroom apartment? You know what? Are you sure you want to stay with him?
I don't know.
All right, well, you'll figure it out. You'll figure that part out, whether you want this relationship to go on. I just think that that's really inconsiderate.
I
really,
think so, too.
3 months in a one-bedroom apartment? How you living? Not well. Everybody keep it here. Up next, Hoda Kotb. Guest is she easily goes from being a hard-hitting news reporter on Dateline to Kathy Lee's drinking buddy in the 4th hour of the Today Show. She's a best-selling author of a new book called 10 Years Later, and she reminds me of the fun girl who lives across the street. After the kids go to school, you go over and drink with her. I love her, and I'm so glad that she's here. Please welcome Hoda Kotb. Because I would have brought out some wine for you. Our show is so boring. I would have. So boring. I would have. You know, Hoda, I know, like, we've seen each other out socializing, but you know, you and also Kathy Lee, you guys remind me so much. You know, I live in the suburbs in New Jersey. You remind me so much of the ladies I wish lived in that house and that house, and the three of us get together afterwards. Just fun.
We have a great time. I mean, there's a lot of laughing and scratching, and for this month, not drinking. That was such a mistake, a huge error.
Now, you promised that to a magazine, so now it's on the record. What magazine did you promise it to?
Ladies' Home Journal.
Ladies' Home Journal.
Yeah, they said, we'll put you on the cover.
Why did you say you're not going to drink? You had a problem?
No, I don't.
Then why'd you do that?
I don't know, because they made us do it. And they asked us months ago, and then they said it'll be for January, and we were like, oh, sure. And then January came.
Okay, so then
know
it's
what
the
I'm saying?
promise that you're not going to drink on your show.
Yes.
Can you drink 5 minutes before the show? 'Cause
Yes.
Okay, exactly. And you drink enough to hold the buzz until the show is over, that's all.
There are 23 other hours in the day.
Exactly. What's it like working with Kathy Lee? She seems like a fun girl.
Can I tell you, I went from hard news to sitting next to Kathy Lee laughing and scratching.
Yes.
And it was a little scary because often she'll just say anything. She doesn't, there's no filter. And I wasn't used to it. I gotta say, I was used to going from camera 1 to camera 2 and
Yes.
reading the prompter
Yeah,
and being
she's
very
messy, but messy is fun.
She's hysterical,
Yeah.
but scary. I was in the makeup room one time talking to her, and it was Valentine's Day. And I go, oh, God, it's Valentine's Day. And she goes, what's wrong with Valentine's Day? And I said, you know what? I met my husband on Valentine's Day, and for a weird reason, our divorce papers became final on Valentine's Day. She goes, wow. So we get on the show, and we're like, hey, everybody, happy Valentine's Day. And she goes, oh, my God, I can't believe your husband. I go, I'm looking at her, I'm like, you know when you're panicking?
Yes.
I'm watching my life just come splurting out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was makeup room
All
conversation.
right, whoa, back up.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, I'm scared.
How long ago were you married? Are you married now?
No, I'm divorced. I was married, and then I got divorced, and then I started dating.
But how many years were you married?
I knew him for 10 years, and we were married for 2.
2 years.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to get married again?
I think I'm better with someone
Yes.
than I think I am by myself. That one didn't work out, and I'm looking for the right fit. I mean, I think, you know, for a lot of us, you focus on your career and you're doing all this stuff.
And we're in the same peer group, so we want different things now than we did when we were in our 30s.
I
Like, what do you
know.
want? Do you want like a count, like an older man who has the money and already has his kids?
Yes, I want someone who's
See?
definitely been married,
See?
who has older kids.
See?
Yeah, no, I do want that.
Because this is what we want at this age.
And I would have never thought, I gotta be honest, I would have ever wanted that. But right now, it seems perfect. But I still, you know what, I still want my heart to pound. I don't want to
Well, you can't have it both ways,
Come
honey.
You know what? Anderson Cooper's mom was on his show, and I never forget what she said. She said, I always believe that my next great love is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And she still looks for that love.
I love when women don't give up on love. I was saying
Yeah.
that the other day about Jennifer Lopez. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I love that. Now, Hoda,
Yes.
I know you've been through a lot. At one point, Hoda had cancer and successfully beat it. Your gorgeous hair grew back. And it's so thick.
Can I tell you? This is, you know, my hair is like a tree. This is keratin.
Yes.
I'm so happy about
That's
keratin.
the keratin treatment. It's shiny.
Feel it. Feel what it feels like. Okay.
Like silk.
Can I tell you, if they ever make this illegal because of the formaldehyde, I promise you'll find me in a back alley with some freak. No, I will put it on no matter what.
We have a picture of you before the keratin in the makeup chair. Look.
That's why I can't get a date. That picture.
That's how you wake up in the morning.
don't tell.
But you know, I remember when the Today Show was looking for that new girl in the morning,
Yep.
and of course we know now that it's Savannah. But your name was whispered to be there, and I'll be honest, I was hoping that you'd stay drinking with Kathy Lee. Like I know you do hard news, but I don't want you going back there. I like you as fun lady.
Can I tell you something? I have to say, this is a lot more fun. And I was, you know, sometimes in your life you can have fun.
Yes.
And you can have joy. And they were
Yes.
saying, like, joy is when you open your eyes in the morning and you're happy with what you have and who you are and where you are. And I have to tell you, I don't think I've been this happy professionally.
Yes.
Ever. And I went to
See?
Afghanistan.
I know.
This
You've
is-
interviewed me before. That's when we met on Nightline.
Dateline.
I'm sorry.
Dateline.
On Dateline. That was back in 2001.
I interviewed you back on Dateline when I was doing all hard news and stuff.
And I got to tell you,
What? Talk to me.
when I saw you drinking with Kathy Lee, I said,
What?
I've always liked Hoda, but I like her better as
You
this
do?
fun girl. I do.
It's more
Isn't
me.
it so much more fun being fun?
Yes. I'm so tired of the serious
Yeah.
side.
Well,
you know?
life is hard enough
Yes.
as a grown person. Life
Yes.
is hard enough. You have to make room for laughter. Say, I love the book that you have out now. I did not know the premise of the book, and when I found out, I was like, good idea, Hoda.
You know what? It was
Talk about it.
you find a significant event in someone's life, It could be they won the lottery, they lost a loved one, or whatever it is, and you fast forward 10 years to see what became of their life. So if you're at that starting point in your life where you're scared or you got a bad phone call from your boss or your doctor, and you go, gosh, I don't know how I'm going to live 10 minutes, let alone 10 years.
Yes.
You read this book, they are people who are so inspirational.
How many people did you follow?
6 people. One person, I mean, they all blew my mind, but one lady she had 3 waitressing jobs. She got fired. She had 2 kids. She was a single mom. Nothing was happening. She's in Maine. She's looking down a road. There's an old lumberjacky kind of guy in a lawn chair with a big beard and a whole big case of honey. And she says, what is that? He said, it's honey. And she said, you're never going to sell it like that. Let me package it for you. She starts packaging it. She starts selling it. And then suddenly she starts making more things, and she's making money. And she says, we got to think of a name for this. She looks at his beehives, and there's a big sign that says Bert's Bees.
Shut up, okay? Oh my gosh, and these are the kind of things that are in this book.
Crazy.
This is a great idea, Hoda. All right, Hoda's not gonna leave, because she might not be able to drink wine for the month, but she can make it. We're gonna stomp, we're gonna challenge each other in stomping some grapes next.
Oh, we
Don't
are?
miss it. Yes! So we're back with today's show host, Hoda Kotb.
What are we doing?
Since you love your wine, we thought that we'd have some fun and stomp our own grapes for our own wine challenge.
Indeed. No, indeed.
We're gonna put 45 seconds on the clock, and we're gonna see who stomps out the most wine juice. So give us some music, and it better be good. Tie. I weigh more than her. I know I stomp more.
I'm exhausted.
So am I.
Oh my God.
All right, be sure to watch Hoda.
I can't even
on the
drink
Today
it.
Show. Foot wine. Weekday mornings on NBC. We'll be right back. Corn chip juice. Welcome back. I want to thank my guest today and my co-host, my studio audience on Monday. The always enjoyable Kristen Johnston will be here. Plus, Shape Magazine is going to show us the best, tastiest, healthy snacks around. Have a wonderful weekend. I love you for watching, and cheers to you. See you next time on Wendy.